what they found was when an animal dies in a natural setting, there's no changes to the animal's blood pH. So even if I shoot and miss the animal in the heart, but I hit it in the gut and it somehow stays alive for 48 hours, even though it's going to have a slightly higher stress composition than something that gets shot in the head and then bled out quickly, it doesn't affect the bioavailability of the animal. Whereas the other picture is, and this is what happens with any meat we buy in the store. This is why it's a fucking huge deal. So even when I buy the best of the best regenerative bison, if it's processed, if they're selling it at a store, it had to be processed at the USDA. Now, I know this from bringing exotic animals in. When we first brought our red deer in and we first brought our black buck in, they were batshit crazy for about 2-3 weeks until they settled down. So think about whether it's a regenerative animal or it's been shipped off to a feedlot. When it goes to die at the USDA facility, it's shipped there on a truck. Now, it's not going to be comfortable in its new space. They put it in darkness. It's standing in its own feces and urine next to animals it knows they don't recognize. They can't see them, but they can smell them. And they're shoulder to shoulder with a bunch of animals they don't recognize. They get prodded to go through a chute, and in that chute, a machine clamps both ribs. That way they can't move on either side. They get clamped in, and then the No Country for Old Men comes down and thunks right back of the brain, and they die. The pure panic that goes through that animal raises their pH so high that it actually makes the micronutrients and bioavailability of it 50% less available.
Wow, that's
so understand
crazy.
That half, you're getting half, even of the best. What's available to you, only half is available because it changes that pH to a level that's absolutely unnatural. Whereas even they looked at persistence hunters who will run marathons, exhausting animals down before they can get to it and kill the animal. That animal still doesn't have that pH change. That animal is still 100% bioavailable because it had the ability to run. It had the ability to defend itself. It had the ability to stay in its natural environment and fight for its own life. You ship it off to the USDA, that's not the case. And a lot of people would say, well, how do I work around that if I'm not a farmer? You can do what I did. You can go out to your local farm, shoot the animal, field dress it there, and you buy that animal before you kill it. You are allowed to kill your own animal on someone else's land, and most ranchers will allow that. They'll say, sure, come be a part of this. If you're not comfortable with firearms, you can probably find someone who is to take the shot and help you field dress the animal. And then that, number one, first and foremost, on a spiritual level, connects you to the thing that you're eating in a way that's indescribable otherwise. It's akin to a plant medicine journey. If you've never done it, you don't know what the hell we're talking about. But when you harvest your own food, even a harvest rather than a hunt, there is a deep spiritual bond that takes place. Every time you eat that animal, you know what it took to bring that to sustain yourself. And this is the way in which we get the full access of all the nutrition, all the micronutrients, the heme iron, the every vitamin and mineral that's baked into that animal, in the liver, the heart, the meat. That's all going to come to you because you were able to harvest it in a natural environment.